A rare yet deeply heartwarming moment occurred tonight at the Gocheok Sky Dome as none other than Kim Seokjin, better known as Jin from BTS, made an unexpected appearance among the sea of MOAs at Tomorrow X Together's TXT concert. What was supposed to be a typical tour stop on TXT's act, Tomorrow World Tour quickly transformed into a legendary night when fans spotted the worldwide handsome himself not on stage but in the crowd. Dressed modestly in a baseball cap, oversized hoodie, and black face mask, Jin tried to blend in with the crowd, but his presence could not go unnoticed. Holding a mobong lightstick and swaying to the music, Jin was seen smiling brightly, mouthing lyrics, and even filming the stage with his phone, just like every other fan. It was a surreal sight for many, one of the biggest stars in K-pop history, showing his unfiltered support for his younger label mates. Social media exploded within minutes. Videos surfaced of Jin clapping excitedly during Byunggyu's solo stage and waving his lightstick during Blue Hour, with fans exclaiming, "He's literally just like us," and Jin Hyung is TXT's #1 fan confirmed. Many pointed out that Jin looked emotionally invested throughout the night, even standing up during encore performances and cheering as if he were their proud older brother. The emotional highlight came when TXT members gave a heartfelt speech about their journey, and Byungyu subtly glanced toward Jin's section, smiling. Fans who noticed this small exchange claimed it was a silent thank you from Byungyu, who had previously attended Jin's own solo concert just a month earlier. Their mutual support has now become a cherished dynamic, strengthening the emotional bond between BTS and TXT. While Jin didn't address the crowd or make an official appearance on stage, his presence alone lit up the dome in a different way. It reminded everyone, fans and artists alike, that the spirit of BTS continues to live on not just through music, but through deep, genuine relationships. In an industry often defined by competition and schedules, Jin's quiet attendance felt loud in love and loud in legacy. As MOAs and armies alike flooded platforms like X, formerly Twitter, and TikTok with footage and reactions, one sentiment reigned supreme. Tonight, we didn't just see TXT shine, we saw Jin's heart. Despite trying to maintain a low profile, Jin's energy couldn't be contained. Fans sitting near him noted how he was visibly moved during TXT's ballad stages, particularly when they performed Trust Fund Baby. One fan wrote on X, "I turned my head when I heard someone softly singing along, and it was Jin. He looked peaceful, like someone who finally got to enjoy music again, not as a performer, but as a fan." This small gesture became a massive emotional anchor for many a global superstar, fresh off his own emotional solo tour, now standing among everyday fans, fully immersed in the moment. Some armies even noted the poetic contrast. Just weeks ago, thousands watched him from stadium seats. Now, he's the one in the crowd, quietly clapping, heart full, eyes glowing in the stadium lights not meant for him. Speculation naturally exploded. Was Jin there simply to support TXT as a Hyung, or was he scouting for inspiration, possibly for future collaborations? After all, this wouldn't be the first time BTS and TXT intertwined their artistic journeys. Given Byunggyu's presence at Jin's Amsterdam concert, fans are now wondering whether something bigger is in the works. A joint stage? A collaborative track? Some fans even joked, "This is how legends pass the torch by sitting front row with a lightstick like a proud dad," while others took a more emotional turn, saying, "You could tell he missed performing, but tonight, he looked content." And that's all that matters. What was also notable was the way TXT subtly acknowledged Jin without breaking the moment. During their closing ment, Yeonjun glanced toward Jin's section and smiled. Subin whispered something to Byungyu as the camera panned. Fans believe it was about Jin. It was unspoken, but deeply felt. And as the concert ended and fans slowly trickled out, many turned back for one last glance at the VIP area, hoping to catch one final glimpse of Jin. A few lucky ones did. He stood up, gave a small bow to the stage, and quietly made his way out, escorted by low-key security. No spotlight, no announcement, just pure love and respect. As of now, HYBE hasn't commented on Jin's attendance or any possible collaboration, but perhaps words aren't necessary. Tonight, Jin reminded the world and maybe himself why music connects us all. As the echoes of the concert began to fade and fans trickled out into the night, a few fortunate souls near Jin's seat were quiet witnesses to something beautiful and unspoken. One army who had post-concert flashbacks recounted, "At one point, TXT performed 2010 a soft ballad that always brings me to tears. I looked beside me, and there was Jin. lightly wiping a tear, humming every line to himself. It wasn't for the camera, it was just because it was real. That authenticity spread like wildfire. Comment threads turned from speculation to deeply personal reflections. Fans began sharing videos of Jin's presence not to dissect it, but to hold on to it. One Instagram story read, "You could feel his heart sinking with the song." Another, "We didn't go there to watch Jin. He came there to watch us too." Meanwhile, subtle nods within TXT's performance did not go unnoticed. When Hweningkai sang a heartfelt solo line, Yeonjun glanced toward Jin's section, eyes wide with emotion. Byung-gyu, a known fan of Jin, tilted his head upward as though acknowledging a familiar energy and squeezed his light stick gently. It was quiet, it was small, but for many, it was everything. Silence from official statements continued. Hybe offered no glimpses into whether this was a planned moment or a spontaneous show of support. Instead, the story unfolded through fans, clips, tweets, art, and quiet disbelief that Jin would trade his usual front-of-stage presence for a place in the crowd here, there, but still part of the moment. In the days that followed, mood shifts rippled through ARMY. Many took to social media to share their own stories of support. One user wrote, "Tonight I learned that kindness has a voice beyond applause. Jin's presence wasn't just visible, it made you feel seen." Another fan, from Jakarta, reflected, "I watched Jin clap his hands slowly, catching up beat by beat. In his control was vulnerability. In his stillness was belonging." But perhaps the most poignant breadwinner to emerge was a tweet from a longtime ARMY. This wasn't BTS's legacy on stage, it was Jin's legacy of presence in the crowd. And as the aftermath settled like twilight, two worlds quietly met, TXT's rising brilliance and Jin's steadfast heart, reminding everyone that no matter where the spotlight shines, connection always leaves its mark. In the days that followed, a quiet wave of emotion rippled across fan communities. Jin's presence, unannounced and unscripted, felt like an invitation, a signal that connections could be non-performative, rooted in shared passion rather than planned appearances. Artists, content creators, and armies of all ages began turning this moment into movement. Mashups of Jin's slower glares alongside TXT's live set became fan-crafted visuals heralding unity. A TikTok trend emerged where users edited Jin's fond stares into cinematic remixes of TXT's performances, captioned, "When your idol becomes your hometown." But perhaps one of the most touching creative tributes was a conceptual stage design submitted by a fan designer to a popular K-pop art forum. A dark stage, a single spotlight illuminating Jin in the crowd, and all 7 members of BTS walking out onto the TXT stage. The mock-up was imagined under the title, "A Bridge of Hands, Blood Written in Light." Many said it captured exactly the emotional essence of Jin's silent message, unity, not born of performance but of presence. On a separate social roundup, fans began openly speculating about possible future collaborations. What if TXT opens their next tour with the astronaut and Jin joins them on the bridge? One thread suggested, pointing to Byung-gyu's earlier attendance at Jin's solo concert. Another proposed a dreamy winter special called Dear Jin Cook, a meandering duet where both Jin and Jungkook reflect on growth and shared memories. Hybe has yet to officially respond to these coming together dreams. But insiders whisper that both groups were moved by the wave of support and quietly discussed the possibility of a surprise moment during the next shared event. Meanwhile, in offline spaces, dorm rooms, offices, even train platforms, fans carried this energy forward. Some wrote letters and unveiled them at the next concert. Others gathered to share stories of what Jin's quiet attendance meant to them personally, beyond fandom. One message, scrawled on a poster board at a community viewing, read simply, "Presence is the new performance." And nestled in the background of that message was perhaps the most powerful truth. Jin didn't just show up for TXT. He showed up for his legacy, his sister group, and for an unspoken promise that the bonds forged offstage matter as much as those made under lights.